And that's yet another DDG win.
What's going on, guys? My name's Hunter Butler here on the DDG channel. Rocking a nice green outfit for y'all. I'm just kidding. Don't need to worry about my outfit. I'm bringing you guys a new video on the channel. I know we've had some deck profiles, we've had some live matches, we've had some analysis, or a little bit of analysis on matchups. Today I wanted to go over my second stream game in the EUIC Round 9 winning in. I did not obviously know what I was playing against pre this round. I did not know what Sami Sekkoum was playing. For those of you who don't know who Sami Sekkoum is, he's one of the most decorated players in the Pokemon community, in Pokemon TCG. Overall, multiple top set worlds. He's a three-time ECC or European National Champion. It's one of the greatest players to ever play this game, so I'm honored to just even have a game with this guy. Before I get into playing this match, I just want to go over a couple things. One, I chose to play Giratina VSTAR, the Lost Zone Box version. The reason I say Lost Zone Box is because we chose to play a 2-2 Giratina line and more of the Lost Zone attackers, 2 Sableye, 2 Cramorant, a Tropius from Evolving Skies. So I played more of a Lost box than I did a Tina. The Tina was kind of my heavy hitter, which I, in a new format, I wanted to have the advantage of being able to one-shot things like Goodra and suspected Duraludon VMAX, Urshifu VMAX, the Rapid Strike one. I just wanted to have like a really awesome OHKO option, and then also have something to deal with the Arc decks to do the perfect 280. So it was more about the Lost Zone box part than the Tina. I think maybe I could have played a different version, but I do feel strongly about my pick. And also I'll get into in the video about Giratina as a whole. And then Sami here is playing an Arceus Giratina deck, which I want to start by prefacing and saying that this is not a good matchup for me. He does basically the same thing that I want to do, except he's able to heal and able to hit 280 faster. So we're just going to go ahead and get right into it. This is when I'm down a game. Game 1 I bricked. Didn't set up at all. Barely got to attack. I think I had spit on turn 3. But I want to start off by the first mistake that I made, and that was by altering my game plan. Now, my game plan throughout the whole tournament was I'm going to choose to go second. I want to be able to Colress. I want to be able to spit if I can. I want to be able to get as many cards in the Lost Zone turn 1 as I can, then over going first, over having the evolution, airy advantage of being able to evolve first. So you can see me, I'm shaking my head here. I have a decent hand here, and then I'm going to pause when we go to the prizes so we can talk about these prizes that I have here. So once we lay them out here, I'm going to pause it real quick once we get Sammy's prizes too. But I wanted to, the first mistake I made was I let my judgment go behind me, and I chose to go first. And I was like, hey, maybe I can rush the Giratina, and this is also off of me losing a game. This is my winning, and it's very stressful. I'm thinking, all right, you know what? I'm just going to try to evolve and attack first. Like, I'm going to be the first one to get a Giratina attack. But we're going to shortly find out on why that was a mistake. We're going to look at my prizes here. I'm prized my 1 Roxanne. I prized 1 of my 2 Clara. I prized my Temple of Sinnoh, which is particularly good in this matchup. Counters the path. Another out to countering path. And I don't have my Greninja. So my prizes aren't awesome. His prizes are pretty okay. He prized 1, DT. He's got multiple of those. He's got multiple path. Giratina, like, he doesn't need it until turn 3 or 4, so that's an okay prize, even though he probably won't see it till the end of the game. So those are the prizes. And what I mean by I made a mistake, it's because Sami actually opens up a Bidoof, and he doesn't currently have any ball cards in his hand. You'll see after I play my first turn. So here I'm doing my deck search diligently. I don't know for a lot of people how you guys feel about doing your deck searches, but this feels the most effective for me without doing the whole mana weaving. And when I say mana weaving, I mean pulling your energy to the front, your Pokemon in the back, your trainers in the middle, however you want to do it. I feel like it feels weird to me. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it, because there are very high level players that choose to do this, but I think that it's just right in the gray line of rules of, separating your deck. So I like to do it this way, where I pull all my cards to the top that I want to count, flip my deck over, and I kind of fan it out like this, hold it in one hand, use my other hand to take notes, or vice versa. And this is the easiest way that I find to be able to check what's prized without having to go through multiple times. Like, all right, let me look through my deck multiple times. I can just shoot it up to the top, be able to see everything I want to see, and then go ahead and proceed. I do open with the Battle VIP Pass, and I do open with the Comfy. I noticed in my Greninja's prize, I'm really mulling over whether I want to get a Giratina or whether I want to get a second Comfy. And that's kind of my thought process here. I decide overall I'm going to go for the second Comfy. Wait, did I go? I thought I grabbed the second Comfy. What did I grab here? Let's wait for a second. I'm pretty sure I grabbed a second Comfy. Or maybe it's because I had my third Comfy. Oh, yeah, I grabbed Cram because I had my third Comfy in my hand. And you might be wondering why I Comfied here before Chorus, because I do believe I have Chorus in my hand. Either that or it's a Giratina VSTAR. No, yeah, it's Giratina VSTAR. It's not Chorus. Haven't gotten my Chorus yet. So I'm going to get to that. Also, it's my first turn. I can't Chorus, so that's why you'd be wondering why I can't Chorus before Comfy. I do have Chorus in my hand. But here I'm going to do a bunch of flower selectings. As you can see, I got to get rid of an energy. It's not terrible. Water energy isn't huge in this matchup. I get rid of my Drapion. Not going to use it. I smartly decide to discard my Psychic energy because that's what I want off of Clara. And I can keep the grass energy in my hand. Also, I don't exactly remember my prizes this game, so that might have affected as well. But I had a great turn one. You know, got my Tina down, got all my Comfies. I thought about benching another Giratina, but I didn't want to leave myself bench locked in case, like, I did some magical, you know, get Giratina out of the prize card, snipe 2 Bidoofs type of play. So I wanted to keep that in mind in case I wanted that. But as you can see, he just Sycamored and didn't play any ball cards. So if I would have just went second, he would have drawn past, and I would have just been able to spit for game, and I would have won game 2. So that's the first mistake I made, was getting off my game plan, which I'll talk about a little bit. But I want to stop here. I'm going to rewind just a tad. Just a tad. Let's rewind just a little bit. Just a tad. And I want to pause on that Chorus. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to pause right here. And as you can see, I'm holding Hisuian Heavy Ball, 3 Psychics, and a Sableye, after already having to lost on a Psychic and 1 Psychic in my discard pile. So I have 4 Psychics in my deck. All of them were in the top 6 cards in my deck, or top 7 cards in my deck, excuse me. So this in itself was very, very unlikely to happen. Now, we already know my Greninja's in my prize. I need to get that out. But I'm going to need Sableye this game, and as you can see, he did bench 2 Bidoof, so that Greninja play is still open to me. So here I'm thinking, all right, I'm going to try to get Greninja, right? And I'm going to have to lose one of my Sableyes. So Clara is going to be the only way I can chain Sableye, which is going to end up hurting me later in the game. But just how rough this Chorus was really was the start of the downfall of this game, which I thought I was pretty ahead. Then this kind of comes crashing down on me. So I'm having to choose between what I want to get rid of. I got to keep a Psychic. I got to keep Heavy Ball. I got to get rid of Chorus. I'm thinking about keeping it. And then I think I ultimately decide to get rid of Psychic and Sableye so I can keep the Chorus for next turn. Yeah, and that's just, I mean, that's half my Psychic energy gone on turn 2. Now I can go get my Greninja. Really happy about this, that I found my Heavy Ball early, so I can be able to trade through the deck. Also, I'm just threatening, you know, if I get to 7 here, I can snipe both of his Bidoofs off the board. And that would really help with my prize race. Be able to go knock out 2 Bidoofs, knock out an Arceus with Giratina's Lost Impact, and then knock out an Arceus or a Giratina with the GX attack. And then now I get dealt 2 grasses. So as you can see, we're hitting the ballad of Lost Box here, where it's like, if you just hit your energies, it's really just not too favorable for you. And Sami here also, he doesn't have much in hand, so he's just going to give me his Bidoof. He doesn't want me to damage his Arceus, which is it's pretty fine. I decide to evolve to my Giratina, start powering it up, and threaten a turn 2 Lost Impact while also taking off one of his Bidoofs. Now it's back to Sami, and what Sami's going to want to do is he's going to want to, if he can, he's going to want to power up a Giratina, which I believe he does. I don't remember this game perfectly, but as I'm watching, this is a first reaction of me rewatching this game. I haven't rewatched this game since it happened. You know, this is me rewatching it for the first time, so there might be some things that I'm remembering wrong as I'm trying to put it together. But I remember thinking in this game state, like, my board is perfect, right? I don't care about Greninja. I'm going to get Judge Path. I have Giratina set up. I'm going to be able to evolve to my other Giratina. right? I got plenty of comfies. Obviously, if I lose Kramer, and I'm not mad about that. And looks like we got a guest.
Are you coaching?
No, I'm doing a YouTube video. Okay. Jeff's gonna come in and get in the middle. We'll have to edit this out, but it'll be all right.
I was just letting you know that we were leaving.
Okay. I'll see you in a bit.
Okay.
So I'm about to head to a league challenge after this. Hopefully we'll be able to chop this up nicely. But I'm heading to a league challenge after this. My roommate was just offering me a ride. Now here, I'm gonna pause right here real quick. Now he's mulling over whether he wants to get DTE plus Judge, or he wants to get Raihan and power up his Arceus with the V-Guard energy to stop me from OHKOing him on the next turn, which was incredibly smart, because had he just gotten DTE and Judge and changed my hand, the likelihood of me being able to pull off a one-shot was super high. So a great play by Sami, stopping me from being able to do that 280 and basically forcing me to use my V-Star on this Arceus. So we're gonna see him mull over the options between Giratina and Raihan for a while, and I believe he lands on Giratina and Raihan for the V-Guard. So he's going to get rid of that, or put that Psychic that he has in this card pile onto Arceus. So he's mulling over. Another thing that I'm thinking too while during this matchup, because I've actually, pre the tournament, I never played this matchup. So I actually was going in thinking that it might be quite all right due to, me being able to get a burst. If I can go turn 2 or turn 3 Giratina on his Giratina, then his Arceuses cannot deal with my Giratina, right? But we'll soon find out that because of the amount of energies that I had to get rid of or lost zone due to my Choruses and Comfies, that I'm not going to be able to pull off Giratina back-to-back Giratina attacks. And I wanted to get into this early. I'll get into this while we're in this dead period, because what he's grabbing off is a V-Guard so he can live, and he's gonna, I believe he's gonna Trinity Nova to his Giratina that he's gonna Nest Ball for. But I wanted to get into like a little bit of deck choice on why I chose this deck. I really felt the night before most of the DDG guys, and I'll shout out to Cal Connor as well, who ended up staying with us, and we worked with him on some decks. We kind of got to a point where we were like, okay, if Lugia can beat its worst matchup, we'll play Lugia. If Giratina can beat Lugia, which it wasn't before we added the Tropius, if we can beat Lugia with Giratina, then I will choose to play Giratina. And so my thought process behind this ended up being like 11 p.m. at night. We end up getting to testing the matchup and putting Tropius in the deck and seeing how much Tropius actually helped the matchup to deal with Tyranitar, Stonejourner, Baby Eviltal, all these attackers that are very awkward for Tina to deal with without giving up 2 prizes. And come to find out, Tropius was just so strong. The combination of the Tropius knocking out the Grass Weak guys and the Greninja. Here, I'm going to pause on this real quick because this is pretty important on what's happening. And the Greninja Sableye play was enough to do with Lugia. But I'm going to rewind just a tad here because I want to go over this play right here. So I couldn't gate yet before I comfied. I could have gated here. I wouldn't have gotten any extra cards because I seen energy. I was already out of them. So, somebody told me, hey, you probably should have gated before this, but unfortunately it really did not matter as I did not have any other energy anyways. Like I had already Colressed for the energy. That's what put me to 7. So there was an argument to use Comfy first, but the Chorus had already netted me the energy, and so would have Comfy. So the gate before either of these did not matter. Somebody pointed it out to me. I probably should have gated before, but it really did not matter. I was so far out of energy, and on top of that, I didn't prize too many energy, sorry. I already had so many energy in my hand. And I had, I believe, 2 grass and 2 waters in my hand. Yeah, 2 grass and 2 waters in my hand. So here I had to waste my GX to be able to knock out his Giratina and be able to or his Arceus, excuse me, to be able to completely remove it from play with the V-Guard, which I ended up getting. I ended up getting to 10. But this is where the problems start to arise, where I really need Recycler on the next turn, right? I've gotten my Spit prize. I've gotten my 2 prizes out of my first Tina. Now I need to get 2 prizes out of my second Tina and Sableye to clean up his Bidoof with dropping 12. But as you're going to find out, I don't find Recycler at all. And all my energy in my hand. And I was hoping my opponent would judge me. But he never judged me. He never Roxanne me. I don't even know if he played Roxanne. But he never judged me, which I was really hoping he could judge me so I could Mirage Gate and then maybe Clara for the Psychic. You know, I'm glad that these energies were going to the discard pile and not the Lost Zone. Somebody also told me I could have placed my water on, and here comes the judge that I was hoping for. So thank God that happened. You know, I could have put this water on the other Giratina and then gated, but I didn't have a Psychic anyways. So Clara, the water really was not like the big piece that I was missing. Someone had told me, hey, maybe you should have attached the other energy, but really what I wanted to do was find Recycler and put all these energies back so I can get full value out of my gates and also thin my deck. And luckily I don't draw into any energy. I don't draw an Awesome Hand. I draw my Heavy Ball back. I draw a Switch. I draw a Sableye. So I don't draw the best stuff, and I get Pathed. So Greninja isn't awesome. And he's going to be able to take a knockout and also leave energy on his Giratina. So I believe he takes the Grass off his Arceus and the Psychic off his Tina. He Lost Zones those, takes a one-shot, and it's 3-4. And you would think, Hunter, you're still very ahead in this game, but we'll find out with these last couple turns of, you know, moot damage and moot turns. So, of course, he Lost Zones his 2 energy. He changes my hand. He pass. I directly go into Comfy. I think I have a Chorus in this hand as well, if I remember correctly. And this is where I should have gated first. This is a big misplay for me. Because, not a huge misplay. Because, like I said, I wanted to gate for the Psychic. And I knew I had Chorus in my hand. So, I'm thinking, okay, cool. I got to hold the gate. Because I want to find Recycler. So I can Chorus. But, if I gated first and found Clara off of Comfy, which I don't think I did because I prized one. So I know I have one Clara in the prizes. But it gave me another nuance option, right? Because I'm going to play the gate anyways, right? For the other 2 energy, I won't get the Psychic, right? Which is the most important one. I got 2 in the Lost Zone and 2 in the discard pile. So Psychic's completely out of the deck. I have to play Clara or Recycler to get it back. And I kind of am thinking like, oh, I'm probably going to Chorus. But I wanted to see if I could get Clara first. And that's why I Comfied before Chorus, because I believe I have Chorus in hand, but we're going to see. Or I get it off the Comfy, maybe. Yeah, no. I definitely had it in hand. And I didn't get Clara, which was rough. And then I believe I get Clara here. I can't really see because I got my sunglasses on. But I know I Lost Zone Tropius and I Lost Zone Nestball, I believe. I think it was Nestball. Tropius for sure, and maybe, yeah, it was Tropius and Nestball. Because what would I want Nestball? Oh, I was thinking about Nestball for Sableye, so maybe that's why I get rid of the Chorus. I think I remember getting rid of Chorus, because I know I'm not Chorusing anymore for the game as well. Yeah, I kept Nestball for Sableye. Now it's coming back. It's coming back to me. So I get rid of Chorus, and I get rid of Trop. Oh, nope, it was the Nestball. All right, I kept Chorus. I thought I kept it, but maybe I didn't. So my goal this turn is just to try to hit this Tina. If I one-hit this Tina, there is no way that I can lose this game. And we'll go to a game 3. And with 17 minutes left, you know, it's getting pretty hectic. And this is when I also want to pause on this point because the judge messed me up pretty hard after this. The judge had accused me of playing a Chorus but not putting in my discard pile, which I did. So palming a Chorus, keeping the Chorus in my hand, whatever you want to say. He had accused me of that. And because of that, I actually just don't retreat. He stopped me mid-turn and was like, blah, blah, what are you doing? And when it was happening, I remember saying to myself, and this is like the most vivid memory I have of the match, I remember saying to myself, yeah, I already retreated. And I had only used one Comfy. So I could have actually Comfied for one more card. I don't know if it will be Recycler. We'll get to see on the next turn if I drew something and then Comfied in a Recycler. I don't think it would have mattered, but I would have been able to thin one more card on my deck, which didn't happen. So the judge kind of messed me up on that, and I wish I just, that didn't happen. Also, drawing into my grasses again, having to trade into another energy. I wasn't going to gate for the water. I just decided to pass and hope that my Giratina will live another turn. I also think about bench locking myself, which I choose not to do. Or not bench locking myself. Thought about if I wanted to use a Sableye. As you can see, I didn't even beach court and retreat. I played the beach court down to be able to trade, and I didn't even use another comfy. And this was a major mistake made by me. So I know you guys are probably thinking, Hunter, you said you've made so many mistakes this game, or some people have said you made mistakes. You have to go back and look and see if you made them. But this was a true mistake that I made that I don't think was my fault. Like, it was my fault that I didn't retreat. But if the judge never kind of like accused me at this point, I would have just been in the flow of my turn. And I kind of just forgot that ever happened. You know, I was like, all right, well, I guess that didn't happen. I just, you know, I kind of blanked. And that's something that can happen when you're playing in a high pressure situation, like a win and in, or at a big major tournament, whatever type of situation, you know, it might even be a league cup for somebody, top 8 of a league cup for somebody, could be a high pressure situation. But it's always best to kind of look at your board, not only think, but kind of talk to yourself, have an internal conversation and say, all right, have I done everything I can do this turn? Especially on pivotal turns like this, where even in prizes, right? It's very pivotal at this point in the game that I don't make any mistakes, and I really think through all my options, because this is the difference between me going to day 2 or not even possibly making points to, you know, possibly winning the tournament. And I didn't take that extra second to say, I wonder if I really retreated this, or if I need to retreat this. I'm also very wary of the boss coming, which I was scared of too. So there was even part of me that, you know, thought about throwing up Greninja, even though at the time I remember to myself thinking, I already retreated. I can't retreat. I don't know why I was thinking that, but I did. But here, even now, looking at the situation, maybe even giving up Greninja was better than giving up Comfy here. Not too sure. It really just depends on the path. But I wanted to just touch on that for a moment, that it's so important to take that extra, that last 15 seconds that you got in the turn, you know, without slow playing or anything. You're allowed 15 seconds per action. You take that last 15 seconds and you think, have I done everything I could possibly do this turn on a pivotal, you know, last of 2-3 turns? So we'll go through this. He's going to play a rope. I'm going to give him the other Comfy. I'm not going to think too hard about it. And he's going to give Squovit because he has free retreat because of the beach court. And then he's going to mull over doing Squovit or bossing, I think, because he doesn't have the energy yet, I think is the problem. Yeah, he has boss, so I think he's thinking about doing Squovit first. He's asking me about gates. He's wondering how many gate I have. He knows I have 2 gate left, so he knows that Giratina could easily get knocked out in the future if he leaves it up and takes a 1-prizer. So I think he just Squovits this whole hand away. He's kind of mulling over this. And like I said, Sami didn't make a lot of mistakes in either of these games. He played very, very, very well. I will say I did bait him. We'll start at that point where I baited him into the Bibarel. But he ends up top decking Switch, so it's not as big as a bait here. But he's gonna go and attach the energy and just chill, and he's gonna use that as his Giratina energy for later. Or if I snipe off his Giratina, he's gonna use that to attack with. So he's kind of just not putting his eggs all in one basket. He knows he's not attacking this turn, so no need to power up that Giratina. Also, if he has the -20 DTE on his Giratina, he will not be able to do 280, which he needs to do. So here he's actually just going to path me and judge me and then use that Trinity Charge to power me up or power himself up and say, look, you don't have a good way to knock out Arceus without using your Giratina, and then I can just clap back, knock out your Giratina with mine, and then how do you deal with it? So I get judged again. I'm hoping for Gate Clara. I really just want Gate Clara. But I think I draw into the water again, I'm pretty sure, because I only have 1 energy left in deck. I don't have it. I don't see Gate Clara there. Just have a bunch of switch cards, and then he's going to go ahead and power up his Giratina. And then I tell him, it doesn't matter where you put your energy, I'm going to go ahead and start my turn. He's really thinking about where he wants it. Yeah, here he's telling me it's really tough. He doesn't know where to put his energy. Even though it doesn't matter to me, I just need to kill that. You know, I have to wait to start playing my turn, so I wait. And now I transition to Sableye. Now I'm thinking my new way is kill Bibarel, and then save Arceus or save Giratina on the bench and deal with either bossing up Arceus or bossing up Giratina. So just forcing him to boss. And now I have Clara, but I don't have Gate yet. So also I wasted that beach court. I put that beach court down to not retreat, which was terrible. I mean, it was just all around bad. That was another big mistake. I shouldn't have, especially if I'm not going to retreat. If I was going to retreat, then the beach court's cool. But not retreating and playing the beach court just didn't make a whole lot of sense. Also, I want to preface too, I want to pause right here. This is where I bait him and he gives me the Bibarel and he doesn't have switch. So he's thinking I'm going to kill it. And so that's why he leaves it there. And this would have been an awesome opportunity for me to go kill his Skwovet and kill his Giratina. But this is where the mind game stuff comes in, where I'm thinking Sammy's so good of a player, there's no way he's going to leave himself stranded with Bibarel and not have an out to retreat. So I'm like, he's got to have something, right? Even though he didn't. He bluffed me pretty hard. I thought I baited him, and then he bluffed me. So it was like 2 levels of the brain game going on here. But the other thing I was going to say was him playing brilliantly as well. Just not only knowing that a matchup is good for you, but like taking the time to understand threats. Like Sami understands the only threat I have is that Giratina. And there's no point in him going up in the prize trade if he's not knocking out my Giratina. So if I'm going to play chicken, then he's going to play chicken. And that's like something that most players would think, why didn't you just take a knockout with Giratina there, or a knockout with Arceus or whatever, or try to power up another Arceus, blah, blah, whatever. He really recognizes exactly what I'm trying to do to win the game, and he's going to stop that. So really big ups to him. Here I go for another Comfy. I really, really want to switch card. I have the Clara, but I'm going to Chorus instead. I'm going to try to hit the whole thing. I'm going to try to hit Recycler, switch card, and Recycler, switch card, and gate. And of course, I hit the last water again. I hit the Recycler. I put the Recycler back. And this is when I transition to Sableye, because I know if I rope, he's going to give me Skwovet. I'm not going to put Giratina in the active for that. So here's the where I make the choice to not Mirage Gate, or Mirage Gate 1, I believe. Or do I pass? Oh no, I Mirage Gate here. Yeah, I Mirage Gate 1 to Giratina and 1 to Sableye. And I'm thinking, all right, cool. I'm just going to check. I'm going to set up the checkmate right now. Or not a checkmate, but a pseudo checkmate here, where I go, all right, I think about spreading on his bench. And he does have switch in hand, right? So I knew he wasn't going to strand himself. And I thought he top decked the switch. It was the boss I think he top decked. Yeah, it was the boss, not the switch. I had that backwards. Sorry, guys. So I knew he wasn't going to strand himself. So I decided to actually kill it and stop him from trying to find boss. Because Skwovet into Bibarel finding boss, it's not going to be most awesome. And yeah, that's where he tops it. Or he didn't top deck the boss there. He top decked the Ultra Ball. I think he top decks the boss the next turn. Oh, he's Serena. That's what it was. Has the Serena for my Giratina. And this is where the game just basically goes out of hand. And just, being able to take out my Giratina. I'm not able to knock anything out. I have 2 prizes left, but there's no way for me to take 2 prizes before he takes 1. So he lost zones, and this is where the game's going to end. But I wanted to go over this game mostly because a lot of the mistakes that I made, I feel like it's important that top players recognize they're not even top players. I shouldn't have said it like that. How do I word this correctly? But like better players recognize their mistakes, because that's where you really learn. And for newer guys who are watching this and wondering like, man, you're such a great player. You've won a regional. You've top 8'd Nats. You've gone to multiple world championships. We still make mistakes. And this was a deck that I only had 5+ games, like 5-6 games with before the tournament. So, something to think about, that, we can all improve. And this was a game where it was totally within my grasp of winning. Now, granted, I had some bad lost zone stuff with the energies. That definitely made it harder for me to win. But had I not made some of those micro mistakes that might not seem huge, like not retreating, not attaching the right energy, not comfying, giving myself a chance to try to find Clara before a Colress, these type of plays, they can make or break a game, and they might not seem like it in the moment. So I just wanted to show you guys this game to give you a little bit of analysis into what happened. And also, like I said, I think Sami is a perfect example of why Sami is one of the best players in the game. He basically made almost 0 mistakes throughout what I've watched with what his hand gave him. And he played his board beautifully. And like I said, when I was playing chicken, he was playing chicken. He recognized exactly what threats he needed to take care of, and that's something that you guys can take from this: is that if you're playing a game with your opponent and your opponent is ahead, but you can kind of see that his or her game plan, and you can see that, and you can start to foil their game plan instead of advancing yours. That might be the difference between you winning and losing. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. Again, it's Hunter from DDG, and I'll catch you next time.